All right, we're live.
Hi, everybody. Welcome. My name is Jessie Haas. I'm the National Director of Programs at Pet Partners, and this is our quarterly roundup of volunteer news and events. We do these as a way to just bring you bits and pieces of information and updates and events that we've had recently or will be having in the near future. So thank you so much for joining us. I have a colleague with me, Ash Drew. And Ash has something she will talk about at the end, which is our world's largest pet walk, which is one of our favorite events of the year. So she's going to get you all up to speed on that. While I'm getting started, it would be great to hear where you all are from, what kind of pet you have. Because this is a live that really is for both volunteers and prospective volunteers too, it's always nice to know if you're a current volunteer or if you're somebody who is still in the process of becoming registered. So feel free to type that in. And actually, on that note, anytime I'm talking or Ash is talking, please feel free to comment about the topic we're covering, or if you have an unrelated question, that's totally okay too. We're happy to just connect with our volunteers in whatever way is helpful for you all. So with that said, the first thing I want to cover is that today, August 1st, we launched a brand new updated version of our online therapy animal handler course. So you probably know that in order to become registered with Pet Partners, you have to take that required education. It can come in one of two ways. It can either be the online course or an in-person workshop. It is the online course that we updated. And so if you are an existing volunteer or somebody who already completed the course and you're just finishing the other steps of your registration, this has no impact on you at all. The old version of the course is still totally acceptable for your registration. You do not need to go through and take the new course. Much of the content is the same. We just sort of freshened it, added a few new terms, changed the order, made a few things clearer, but ultimately the core concepts are all the same. Now, if you're a prospective handler who was working on the course and didn't complete it by yesterday, July 31st, then the new version was added to your account today. We sent, I think, 3 or 4 messages through the month of July letting folks know that, hey, if you have the old version of the course, you need to complete it by July 31st or you'll have to start over. So you should have received notification of this. Those are the individuals who were most impacted by this course. But ultimately, we're really excited that we did this. That course has been around for about 8 years, and anytime you're creating kind of educational content that's so foundational to the work and the volunteerism that we all do, we want to make sure that what we're saying and how we're representing ourselves and all of you is appropriate, because things change over time. So also one other thing for existing volunteers or current volunteers, later this month you will get an email where we'll tell you how you can access the new version of the course for free. So we want to make sure everybody has access to it. Again, you don't have to do it. It's totally optional, but if you're curious to see the changes we made or you want a little bit of a refresher, you'll have the opportunity to do that for free. So that's the first update I had. The second one is something I've talked about a number of times at these updates, and also we do it in our emails as well, but it's just that important. We have nearly 500 volunteer opportunities currently listed in our directory. Our directory is a place where facilities like schools, universities, hospitals, airports, rehab centers, what have you, they can come to our website. They can basically post an ad saying, we're looking for Pet Partners volunteers. We want to bring therapy animals into our facility or our institution. We have about 500 of those right now. So lots and lots of facilities are pretty desperate to have a Pet Partners team come and visit. So I encourage you, if you don't have a facility where you're already actively visiting,
It looks like we might have lost Jessie for a quick second, so hopefully she'll refresh and get back on. But I see Destiny asked a question. It says, in general, who's good to ask questions? So it's really good to go to our contact us form on petpartners.org, which we can drop there in the chat. That way, when your question comes in, it gets forwarded to the correct Pet Partner staff person who's able to address your question directly and quickly as possible, because we've got a lot of different folks that oversee a lot of different things. So that's the best place to go to get your question asked quickly. But while we're waiting for Jessie, We're so excited to have so many prospective handlers drop in messages in the comments. And then for our existing handlers like Stephanie and Tiger, it's been fun working with you guys. I can probably talk a little bit about the walk while we wait for Jesse, too. I was just popping on to let everybody know our world's largest pet walk, presented by Wellness Pet Company, is coming up in September. It's always the fourth Saturday of the month, so Saturday, September 24th. But walkers are welcome to register and walk any day, anytime, any place, any distance, anywhere in the world, so that we can all kind of come together and celebrate the human animal bond, because the walk is really wonderful. It's family friendly, pet friendly. You don't have to be a Pet Partners Therapy Animal team to participate. It's open and inclusive to everyone. So feel free to share it with your friends and your neighbors. It's free to register. And for those, oh, good, here's Jesse. I was just filling them in a little bit about the walk while we were waiting for you to get back.
But I'm not sure what happened. I apologize, everybody. Do you want to just keep talking about the walk, and then I
Sure.
will cover my last item when you're
Yeah.
done? Go for it.
Yeah, absolutely. And so for those who are passionate about fundraising, fundraising's also permitted with the walk. For those who like to do that, for anyone who raises $50 or more, you can earn a pet bandana. At the $100 mark, you get the shirt and the pet bandana, and then we've got other prizes. And then every year we hold our sneaker awards, which is a really fun celebration that we have just after the walk. It's usually the second week of October, where you can earn prizes and certificates through your fundraising efforts, but then also just through activity. So if you walk your animal every single day, you can track your mileage within our walk app. And so for every mile that you walk, you earn points. If you like to share photos and videos of your pet, which we always love to see, you earn points for that as well. So you can earn awards simply for, sharing your joy and the fun things that you and your pets do in your free time. But we would absolutely love to have you join the walk. And if you have any questions, you can reach out to me directly, or you can go to our website, which is worldslargestpetwalk.org, which will also drop in the chat. And yeah, we're just really excited to spread some joy and have people be active with their pets. And we're just really grateful for this new partnership that we have with Wellness Pet Company, and so we're getting ready to leverage a cool match that they're going to be doing here in 2 weeks. So your money can go twice as far if you get involved.
Thanks so much, Ash. Yeah, let's put that website in the chat. That would be excellent. I do just
Oh, I think we might have just lost Jessie again, but hopefully she'll be able to get back really quickly. But if there's any other questions that you have, whether it's therapy animal related or in regards to the world's largest pet walk, feel free to drop them there in the chat. We'd love to see it. And welcome, Sally. We see that you just joined with from California. Hey, Elizabeth Lynch. So good to have you. Let's see if there's any other questions I might have missed. All right. Looks like we've answered all of them so far. Um, But I think we'll give Jesse maybe a couple more minutes to try to get back on. Does the pet walk need to happen? No, Elizabeth, that's a great question. It can be held anytime between now and December. Because, like for us here in Arizona, it's still pretty hot in September. And so some of us choose to celebrate once it cools a little bit down a little bit more. But you're welcome to walk anytime. And then some people choose just to play fetch in their backyard, or they take their animals swimming. So you don't necessarily have to walk either. You can be creative.
I'm back. I'm hoping I don't go again. If I go again, we'll just call this live over. So what I was talking about when I dropped the first time was the volunteer opportunities directory and how many facilities are looking for teams right now. You can access that super easily by logging into your volunteer center account. If you scroll just a little bit down, it is on your homepage. It curates for you based on the zip code you gave us when you set up your account and your registration, all of the facilities in your area that are looking for teams. And you can kind of play around with the search filters if you don't want to go too far, or you're willing to go far, or you want to be in a certain type of setting, you can set all of those filters and take a peek at what's available. Obviously, your volunteer journey is your own. If you have a facility you really enjoy and it works for your pet, just keep on keeping on. But I always like to remind people, and sometimes new handlers don't know this, you can absolutely volunteer at more than one facility. And you can visit occasionally at some facilities and more regularly at others. So I do encourage you to at least take a peek and see if anything fits, if you feel like you have more time to give to your community with your pet. The final thing I wanted to tell people was that once you have been a handler for 18 months, you are eligible to become a volunteer leader with Pet Partners. And we don't often talk about these on the lives, but I've been working on some of them upcoming recently, so I thought I would bring it here. So a volunteer leader is one of two positions, either an instructor or an evaluator. An instructor teaches our in-person workshop. Evaluators obviously evaluate teams when it is time to be assessed, sort of as that final step of the registration. Again, all you need to show is that you've been a handler for 18 months. You do not need to have extensive experience in the animal space. You don't need to be a behaviorist or a trainer or a veterinarian or anything of that nature, because our training program will help get you those skills and understandings. And I think I heard Elizabeth Lynch is on the call. Is that right, Ash? So Elizabeth, yeah, Elizabeth is one of the people who helps train up our new evaluators, and they sort of help impart that knowledge and get you some practice before you're out there evaluating. And same for instructor. You don't have to have any experience other than being a handler, and in that role, an interest, of course, being in front of people and facilitating. So if you have any background skills in that, that particular role can be a good one for you. The reason I wanted to bring this up is, in order to become particularly evaluator side before COVID, you had to dedicate a full in-person day to a training as well as 6 weeks of online training. Now we have developed a fully virtual option where you can become an evaluator through a completely online course of study. So if you've been thinking about becoming an evaluator, or if you're eligible to become one soon, I just wanted folks to be aware that we have two different ways that you can achieve that evaluator role. The instructor course of study has always been fully online and continues to be so. So we need volunteer leaders in nearly every community. It's not always easy work. And of course, we all love our role as handlers, maybe first and foremost, where we get to be out there meeting with people in our community. But if we don't have evaluators and instructors, then we can't create new teams. We can't renew the teams that we have. And so in some ways, it is just as impactful as being a handler, because you are allowing literally dozens and dozens of other teams to go out there and do what needs to get done in their community. So just want to remind folks of that. If you are interested in that role, as Ashley said earlier, there is a contact us button at the bottom of every page on our website. You can just fill that out, say I'm possibly interested in becoming a volunteer leader, and we'll either send you information by email or we'll give you a call, whatever you prefer. That is everything I have. Ash, I will say I am not able to see the chat that's coming in from people. So if there's any questions I should address, will you holler them at me?
Yeah, I think we've addressed everything so far.
Okay.
Kathleen wants to begin her journey, which is exciting.
That's great.
And then Elizabeth Lynch said that she's been encouraging facility managers to upload their contact info to the database so that other people know where to visit, and that the online training has been super successful. So yeah, so all good content. But yeah, no other questions. But if somebody else or anybody else has any other questions, I'm happy to share them with Jesse, and we can get those answered right now for you.
Absolutely. Yeah, I do, just piggybacking off what Elizabeth said, you know, it was quite a leap of faith to work on getting our evaluators trained in a fully virtual format. And of course, there's pros to that and there's cons to that, but it has worked really well. And it just sort of proves that sometimes, you know, something like the pandemic forces you to pivot. You find new ways of doing things, and then you can kind of combine the old and the new, or offer both, and let people sort of choose what works for them. But the virtual training certainly is very accessible. So if that's been a concern for you in terms of how do I access that training, I don't have time to travel, I don't have time for in-person training, we got you covered now. So
Perfect. We just had a question come through. It says, how can we encourage facilities to accept non-canine animals to be allowed to visit? So some of our other species.
Yeah, that's a great question. I actually would love to help you do that. I think that as staff, when we speak to facilities about their concerns with non-canines, usually they start to be pretty open afterwards. Of course, we explain things.
Oh, I'm sure Jesse will get right back on. We've been having some weather across the country that's been affecting internet. Um, so I'm sure she'll come back and finishing answering that question for you, Elizabeth. But yes, if anybody ever needs any help, feel free to reach out to us, and we're happy to help facilitate and assist in any way that we can. Hey, Marcy, Figgy and Newton. All right. Well, if we have any other questions, please feel free to drop them in the chat. If Jesse's able to get back on, she can answer them verbally, or what we can do is we can come back to the chat and text some response back to any of those questions. So if anybody has anything else, please feel free to drop it in. Yes, Kathleen, great question. Yep, the best place to go is to go to petpartners.org, and then underneath our volunteer tab, it'll have you create an account with Pet Partners. And then from there, it'll give you kind of step-by-step instructions on taking the handler course and all the other stuff that you need. But yeah, definitely go to our website and it walks you through the process. Oh, I just got a message that Jesse can't get back on. So yes, so drop in any more questions and then we will address those offline. But I hope that the rest of you have a wonderful Monday. And thank you so much for tuning in and for supporting Pet Partners. We're so grateful for you and your animals, and we hope you have a great rest of your week. Bye.